While I'm cooking, I would like to tell you briefly about main news that are was more popular in Ukrainian society during these maybe 2 weeks or last 10 days. A lot of discussions about in Ukrainian society about this visit of President Zelensky in the United States. Some journalists said that that thing that our president had some actor's career or TV personality career. It helped him to be on the stage in United States and to make the public, the people who were there, to make him love himself, because for any actor, TV personality is very important to have this ability to make the people around love him and watching him and to be connected with him. And that previous career of our president as a TV personality helped him a lot. Some people criticize that he was not in the suit. If he was like me, in the casual clothes. But I think it's not that important. And other experts said that he could be like that because it's his image during this war. And a lot of people compare his clothes with Churchill when the United Kingdom fight against the fascist Germany, Nazist Germany. In the beginning of the Second World War, the Churchill also had this visits, meeting with United States government and president, and he also wore some casual clothes. It was like to show there that it's not a time for clothes that he cannot be in the jacket, in the tie, and it's impossible. And it was a part of his image. It was a part of message he wanted to show, and people are quite happy in Ukraine about that support, help that United States give to Ukraine, and it's a very big present up to this New Year and Christmas. And so I'm also very thankful to all people of United States, and not just United States, but all Europe, United Kingdom, and other countries of Europe that support in Ukraine. I also want to join to that happiness that we are not alone in this world, and now we know who are our friends, because long time Russians told that only they are our brothers, but in reality we should not just to judge by words but by actions. And so the Western world and United States and Europe proved that they are our friends. The next news was 1 week before, and it was the conference of our head of the main general of Ukrainian army, General Zoloznyov. And it was completely different mood. The person who actually manage the whole Ukrainian army, whole actions of Ukrainian army, and he knows the best what happens, what are real prognosis, real situation, and the situation is not predictable. We cannot say that we are winning. Yes, we hold this Russian army in some borders they reached, but it's very hard job for us, and we should understand that it's not a simple walk for us. For Ukraine, it's very hard, and we need consolidation of Ukrainian society. We need more weapon. and the war will not over soon, because a lot of experts, so-called experts on the Ukrainian television, they said that in the spring we will win the war. For a month we will take, for example, back the Crimea. And General Zoloznyov, the person who really knows the situation, he said that it's not true. The war will be hard and long, and you shouldn't relax. You shouldn't, be sure that for some, short time we will take back the Crimea, we will make the Russians leave. Their army, yes, the degradation of Russian army exists because they lost the best officers, the most prepared soldiers, the best equipment already, and now they are on that line that they are very close to cross that line, when they should use old equipment from their deposits, and their army will degrade, but their army is still very large and still very dangerous, still very numerous of the people. And the main danger, according to Zaluzhny, that Russian Putin Russian president, he just have no choice. He cannot give up, because it will mean for him the political death, because the society in Russia so turned on by the propaganda he created by himself, that they will not excuse him if he will lost or he will step back, and so he cannot stop. If he want to be a president, continue to be a president on. And so he decided to enlarge the Russian army by the number of soldiers. He want to prepare 200,000 of soldiers up to the spring. That's why a lot of people afraid what gonna do Putin on the spring, what gonna do Russian army on the spring. And also Putin ordered to enlarge his army up to 1.5 million all soldiers. Zaluzhny told that yes, the soldiers not that well prepared, because the soldiers they taken from civilian life, they not experience it, their preparation is not that good enough, the quality will be lower, but the quantity, that is what Russians used against Ukraine. And Zaluzhny told that this mobilization works because we intended, for example, to take the Svatove in Luhansk region, and because of the mobilized people, mobilized new soldiers, they stopped our army in the Luhansk direction. And if even that soldiers will be not that well prepared, the quantity also will be very dangerous for us. We should prepare for heavy fights, and Russians still not have any intention to give up on the military field. So that was very important message, and very, very much discussed in Ukrainian society, and very important as for me. I want to tell you third news that the most discussed in Ukrainian society for now, about possible second attack from the side of Belarus, and second attempt to take the Kiev, the capital in Ukraine. This news is very, very much discussed in Ukrainian society. From the one hand, the military experts said that the danger from Belarus for now is equals to 0 or maybe 1%, because the quantity of soldiers there is not enough to go, to take the Kiev. But anyway, other military experts and people who more understand in this question, they said if Putin will prepare up to the spring 200,000 of soldiers, everything will be possible. And these days, big quantity of air defense system, Russian air defense system Tor, was delivered to Belarus. And also Putin attended Belarus maybe 5 days ago and met there Lukashenko, and they discussed something. And yeah, this news is like some people said that possibly it's like informational attack to make Ukrainian society be scared, be always turned on and ready for attack from the Belarus side, because Belarus is the closest country and to Kiev. For these days, the military speaker, the General Naev, he told that the danger from Belarus side started its growth a little. So the danger actually is possible, and it really could grow up to the spring. And these conversations, they never stop. Ukrainian society, different experts, professional and unprofessional journalists, they discussing this possible second attempt to take the Kiev, because if the Putin enlarge his army and he has some plans, or he built his plans for this new mobilized people. This news seems to me is quite controversial because yesterday, I guess, the number of killed Russian soldiers on the Ukrainian lands, according to our Ministry of Defense, reached more than 100,000 people. So it will be the 10 times less than 1 million, and a lot of people are happy. From another hand, we cannot be happy because of the killed people. Of course, even if it is Russians, it is someone's life, and you cannot be happy because someone died. But in our society, because of the war, I think your vision, your conscience works not as and in the peaceful time, because for peaceful time, for me, even death of the butterfly, of some mice, is terrible. But when you have the enemies who killed thousands of civilian people, who actually came for killing of the people, and the reason why they're doing this, they said that in army now is very big salary. I have the credits in the bank. I have to pay for a lot of things I bought, but I had this money in the bank and I have to return it to the bank. In the Russian army, salary are unbelievably high for common Russians, for most of the common Russians, and that they are most of these people, they coming for money, and they killing Ukrainians for money. They said, I have 3 kids, I have to feed them, so they are coming to Ukraine and they kill here other people. They killing the other kids, and oh my god, sorry, I have to change the place because it's still a little bit warm. In Ukrainian society, people had a hope, and even a lot of experts, a lot of journalists expressed such an opinion that when the Russian families, Russian society will receive a lot of these letters with messages that, for example, your husband died, your father died, your son died, they will be very aggressive, very angry with their government, and finally there will be some numerous rebellion of the people who lost a lot of their relatives in this war, and finally they will stop Putin by this, by their aggression, but they, at least they do not care about Ukrainians, but they will care about their relatives. But it didn't happen. The attitude, the brains of the people who are involved in war, they a little bit become more, different, a little bit more cruel. And I understand that for normal, for peaceful time, it's terrible to be happy of anyone's death. But in case the people who are criminals, who are killers die, yeah, I guess you should be a little bit happy, because if, for example, someone of the environment, at least of the Hitler, will be killed, you may say, thanks God, this beast died. So that's what's kind of happiness, and that's what kind of attitude to these Russian soldiers and their deaths the Ukrainians have, because it's just a question of protection, of survival of our nation. Because these people, they came not just to capture territories, but destroyed Ukrainians as a nation or assimilate them into Russia. And that's what they're doing on the captured territories, because I know there's information that on some territories, as in Mariupol and other, they try to take the local people, local Ukrainians, and move them to, for example, other parts of Russia, and to create the conditions for the native Russians to come to captured Ukrainian territories and live here. And the reason is the techniques is the same that Stalin did, because he did like a huge relocation of nations, called like that, and the aim was to destroy the national population in this territory, to fill at least by the half this population by Russians. That what happens, for example, happened in the Tatarstan, where people, they are Muslims. They actually, Tatars in Tatarstan, they quite close to, by the culture and religion, to Turkey, not to even Slavians or Russians, but Russians for the maybe second part of 20th century, they filled the Tatarstan by Russians, and now the Tatarstan is half of the population there they are Russians. And of course, these Russians, they are for Russia, and the locals who dreamed about some autonomy and maybe some independence, they cannot reach it, because the half of the population already against it, and they very aggressively against it. And that's what I think Putin want to make on the captured territories. So I think that we should return them fastly. Do not let it happen. Do not let native Russians to habit our flats and our cities and villages and towns. That's why Ukraine should win. So guys, I'm preparing to try my salad I put it in my plate a little bit. Of course, usually in Ukrainian, on Ukrainian Christmas table, usually it should be 12 dishes. The last new I left, quite discussable in Ukrainian society. It is positive new, which I left for, for the last. And actually it is new connected with the Christmas. It is first time when Ukrainian Orthodox Church of Ukrainian Kievan Patriarchy, they allowed people officially to celebrate New Year 24th of December, which is today. It is first time. Several years before we celebrated this Christmas twice, at the 24th of December and in 6th of January. But it was like a compromise for people who are Catholics, for example, or Greco-Catholics. Now our church let the people who attended Orthodox Church to celebrate it together with the rest of the Western world. And I think it's very important, and it's quite discussable, quite popular new to discuss, at least for these few days. And it is positive because I didn't know where these traditions came from, of celebration of New Year in Ukraine, for example. And most of them came from that modern traditions, as for example this Olivier salad. They came from the USSR times. For example, even the celebration of the Christmas of 6th of January, not of 24th of December, created by communistic party, or I don't know, communists in 94 9. Oh my god, I'm telling you about, I'm tired and I'm hungry, sorry. 1929, yes, 1929 year, the communists established that the Christmas will be different, not like rest in the rest of the Western world. So they wanted to to be different a little. That is based on different calendars, Gregorian and Julian calendars, because the each minute, each hour, and each day not consist of the quantity of seconds we have, it a bit longer, and these differences, they for these hundreds and thousands of years, it's become 2 weeks, 2 additional weeks. And so this difference, the communists used to change the date of celebration from the 24th of December to 6th of January. And now, like, Ukraine returns to traditions before communism, before communists established. Actually, according to questionnaires, the journalists asked Ukrainians, so the date of Christmas changed, will you celebrate it 24th of December or 6th of January? And most of people said that we will celebrate it still 6th of January. I think because traditions, if they are established once and they survived in the society, they very strong people try to keep these traditions in their life, and that's why people got used to celebrate this Christmas at 6th of January. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you very, very much for your support.